Congratulations to being welcome to KATT Legacy 2 and 3 launch. And we are extremely excited to be doing this. And I just really want to thank everyone for joining us today. We appreciate you. And yeah, we're extremely excited. We even got all dressed up, huh? So thank you to our partners already here from within and outside Africa. We appreciate you. And we're going to try as much as possible to definitely keep to the time as we go along. And one thing I would ask, please feel free to introduce yourself in the chat. So your name, the country you're joining us from, and also, who you are, your role, because this is an excellent place to network as well. It's so good to see different faces, and yeah, I'm really excited about today. Let me just start sharing the screen. All right. So everyone, let me know if you can see my screen. Yes, please start the introduction, start all the gist. Africans like to gist a lot. We like to tell stories. So feel free to just essentially explode in the chat box and look at all the amazing people we're having online. And this is going to be a little bit different in terms of a town hall, um, because we're not going to make it the usual come talk speeches and so on and so forth. And I am so, so, so blessed to have a co-host today, finally. My name is Sophia. I'll introduce myself a bit properly later on, but please keep dropping the comments about who you are. This is the way we're going to observe protocol. We're not going to do the usual way. It's going to be a bit different. Um, Bill, are you there? You're my co-host. If you'd like to introduce yourself, show yourself and introduce yourself.
Hello, everyone. Are you able to see me, Sophia?
Yes.
Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Wanyama Wafula. Sometimes they call me Bill, and happy to see everyone. And of course, I'll be the person on the comment section. So let's meet there a lot. That's it.
Thank you, Bill. Yes, we call him Bill. He has many names. Oops, sorry. So we have look at who's coming in. I mean, it's just amazing. The list is long. Yeah, we have Bill from Kenya joining from Rwanda, Kenya. Aaron from Ethiopia, welcome. Marcia from Zimbabwe. Lauren, thank you for joining from our incredibly supportive partner, Women in International Security in DC. Lynette is here, woo, from Kenya. Dio Gracias is here from Rwanda. Mahati also from WISE from the US. Thank you so much, Mahati, for all your support and everything. Tol is also here from Thailand. You see, this is a global meeting. Adriana is based in Morocco and she works with women of color, advancing peace, security, and conflict transformation. Another amazing partner. Godwin from Nigeria is here. Kevin from Kenya. Anas from Algeria. Alice from Rwanda. Felicia, thank you for joining via Texas. Um, let's see. Joy Gianti. Pardon me, Joy. She's in India, but she lives in Montreal. Imagine that. And supporting funders. Yes, I do remember. Thank you so much for being here. We hope that this will evolve into other things. Priscilla from Zambia. Felicity from Nigeria. Uche from Nigeria. Salam from Ethiopia. Matt from the UK based in Rwanda, Giselle, Rwanda, Rose from Kenya, joined from Rwanda, Jacques from Rwanda, Yvonne, Greta from Rwanda, Elias from Kenya. It just keeps going. Claude from the Republic of Congo, joining from Rwanda, Fidelity, Ghana, the gateway to Africa. Let's not start our arguments now. Welcome, welcome. Um, Yes, Isa from Rwanda. Okay, so this is obviously going to continue throughout our sessions today. So I'm just gonna jump straight into it. We have a lot to cover and discuss today. And like I said, we're incredibly excited. So we are here for the launch of KATT Legacy 2 and 3. And throughout the session today, you will also be getting different links in the chat box about KATT, about the different speakers who are with us. And facilitators of our discussion. You also get a lot of information, and obviously, we will also give the link to where the legacies will be domiciled online. So essentially, this is our running order for today. We're going to first start with breaking the ice. We're kind of started already and setting the canvas, and you're going to see that one I'm so excited about. We will be unveiling the legacies. So it's going to be the data sparks. What is the data telling us? Because this is all about participatory, community-based participatory research. The catalyst questions, we're going to have a very, very, very short break. Then we'll go into the continent speaks and closing and the canvas reveal. So stay tuned. Let's start with just welcoming you to this Pan-African Town Hall. We're flipping the scripts. We're not doing usual speeches and so on and so forth. And we recognize everyone who's here. All protocols are duly observed. Shahid from Jordan, welcome. Lionel from Rwanda, thank you for joining. I'm so glad my Jordan alma mater is here. Nabonga is here from Ethiopia. You can see this is, come on, please take care of that. You can see that this is very much a global meeting as well as an African town hall. Now, what are our group norms? Very simple. We want to keep the chat active and buzzing, okay? Not everyone, we have a limited amount of time. You've given so much of your precious time, so not everyone's going to be able to speak, but you can definitely speak in the chat box. So let's keep it active and buzzing. Challenge and exchange and engage on ideas respectfully. It's absolutely a safe space to engage and disagree even on things, but this is a safe space and a respectful space. So please, anything you're challenging, anything you're engaging on, let's do it in a respectful manner. If you're speaking, please be on camera. And of course, introduce yourself in the chat, which we've already done. Now, the next thing we're going to do to further break the ice is we are going to do a very quick Mentimeter where you will introduce yourself, first name only, just your first name, then the country, and then one word to describe something. Let me take this off and put on the Mentimeter, but you can scan that or use the link in the chat. That is our icebreaker Mentimeter. Use the link in the chat. It will take you directly to it. Let me just start the presentation of that one so we can get going with it. All right. So cool thing about our tool, obviously, is that we'll be, oh, look at you guys. Well, you guys are on it. You're already writing. Let's start the presentation, shall we? So this is an excellent way for us to just kind of get to know everyone who's in the room. All right, let me make this a full screen. Yes. Okay, and let's see who's in the room. Okay. Yeah, I believe you can see it now. And you know what? We're gonna see if there are people who are, you have someone else that has your name. Kind of like we can tell from this. So Matt, it seems there's another Matt somewhere. Felicia, Hati. Why are your names standing out? Tool. It's kind of taking very special names. I don't know. Okay, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Yes. First name only. Shahid. Good to have you. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Keep going. Keep going. Yeah, we're almost there of the 27. I love that people are coming in. Yeah, so you can see who is represented here. Matt, I do not know why your name is the largest. This is an issue. All right. All right. Very good, very good. The thing is, as everyone is coming in, they're also adding. We're almost there for the respondents. Yes. Priscilla, you can scan this QR or you go to menti.com. It will ask you for a code. You put in that number 4118-9225, or you use the link that was in the chat. Excellent. Okay, so the numbers keep pouring in. So we're gonna start moving. Internet issues. Let's see what's in the chat. Yeah, yeah, we like the colors. Yes. Almost there, guys. Almost there. Okay, let's look at the second question. So second question is country, obviously. So country that you're from or you're joining us from. That would be the second question. Make sure my phone is it. So this is going to give us a nice mural of the different countries that are represented here. So we'd like to see country as much as possible, okay? The name of the country. Yes, 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 yes. Rwanda is winning so far. Where are my Nigerians at? Kenya is also close second, as you can see from the sizes of the text. It shows the occurrences, and Rwanda and Kenya are they're like on a race right now to get there. Algeria is coming up. Nice. Ethiopia also. Cameroon, USA. Let's see. You're coming up, guys. You're coming. You're coming. What country are you from? Let's see the global representation that we have here today. You can keep going. Keep going. Country of 1,000 hills. Who's cheating? Rwanda. You're making Rwanda smaller. Huh? The name of the country. Cleanest country. Now we've gone to describing the countries. Okay. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Almost there. Is there more than one Bildad on this call? That would be interesting to see. All right. Let's look at the next question. We have a nice, nice, nice mix. Keep it coming. Keep it coming. The question in one word, right? The last one for our icebreaker is in one word. What is the biggest barrier keeping African youth from realizing their potential? One word. One word. All right, let's see what the room thinks. Keep going. Keep going. This is so interesting. Keep going, please. Mentorship. It's a big corruption boom. Gave us a big one. Disputes. Okay. And we speak about conflict and so on. Keep going. One word. What is the biggest barrier keeping African youth from realizing their potential? Keep going. And you can please, production team, you can put the link to the Mentimeter again, in case those people in the chat, in case those who came in after we started. So dispute, which is interesting, which is around either conflict, right? It seems to be a very big barrier from what you're saying, followed closely by, I think, poverty, unemployment, corruption. Yeah, keep it coming, please. This is incredibly interesting to see. I'm expecting someone, maybe if I was adding, I would say internet because people are jumping in and out due to their connection issues. All right, let's keep going. Wow, for me, it's very interesting. The disputes is standing out. So that's very interesting. And please feel free to comment on what we're learning and how we're engaging already. Okay. In the chat. Okay. So just want to see a certain percentage of answers before we go on. Yeah, still waiting because more people are jumping in. Lack of focus, trust, leadership, finance. That's so interesting. I think it's quite interesting for those of us who work on peace and conflict in the room. as you can see what the room is saying. All right, I'm checking again. Okay. All right. Okay. This is extremely telling, and you can still keep answering for 1 more minute and we will move on. Okay. Dispute. Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting answer. Seeing it as conflict. Fear. Wow, that's something. Okay. All right. So thank you so much for providing those insights already. And I already see it's going to be a very, very interesting time together and conversation. So we will now move our, just 1 second. Yes. We will now move to our next slide where I am very happy to introduce our visual scribe, Tol Lakutai, who's from Thailand. Tol is an architect, facilitator, graphic recorder, and IFVP Institute certified master visual practitioner. In the chat box, you can find the link, his LinkedIn link to his LinkedIn profile, as well as the link to the his company, the Pictures Talk, that will be providing the visual or graphic recording of our discussion. So you can definitely see it. Yes, you can see it in the chat, and you can also see Pictures Talk. Let me stop sharing for a minute and just ask Tool to go and say something to everyone and show us the canvas as well, where we're starting.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tul Legutai from Thailand. I work as the graphic recorder for the 12 years, and today I'm going to record the discussion into a pictures. Here we are, providing on this iPad. Okay. Thank you so much, Sophia.
Thank you, Tool. Thank you. We appreciate that. All right. So you will see it as we go along. You're going to see we have a visual recording, not just a recording, but also a visual recording or a graphic recording, depending on how you want to say it, of our discussions today. Now, I also want to introduce another very special person. He's a key contributor to the work, especially when it comes to the synthesis and kind of really helping us make sense of the data that we received and have worked on the legacies. Deogracias Rutebuka is an independent consultant in digital health, data science, and monitoring, evaluation, research, and learning. In the chat, you'll see his LinkedIn profile. And Dio Gracias, I'm giving you the floor for 2 minutes to say hi to everyone and really your thoughts as you went through all of the data for the KATT Legacies.
Hi everyone, can you hear me? Okay,
Yes,
thank
we
you.
can hear you.
Thank you, Safia, for this opportunity. It's an honor to be part of this edition of the KATT 2 and 3 launch. Male perspective. What really struck me about Legacy 2 is the methodology itself. 309 respondents across 25 countries, disaggregated by gender and disability. That disaggregation is the one.
Seems like we're having a few problems with the Deogracia's internet. Yeah, me too. We're also having that. Let's see.
Difference between saying.
Okay, he's back. Deogracias, we lost you for a minute, but go ahead.
Disaggregated and female 7.7, while male respondent.
So I think this is one of the big African problems that we need to address, right? The internet. Deogracias, try without the camera. Without video, I mean. Okay.
From the sample I worked on, over half of the sample is from Zambia, notably the country that is consistently the most stable across every indicator from my findings. So this is a country evidence, not yet a fully balanced 25 country picture. So that's not a weakness to hide. It's exactly why the reports recommends repeating this instrument
So,
in
dear Gracias,
future
you're breaking
rounds.
up.
So
You're real.
we move from a single snapshot to a real trend line. My network.
Yeah. Keep going. Now you're on mute. You're on mute now.
Okay, great. Now you can hear me now.
Yes.
So I was talking about one thing worth naming, honestly, where over half the sample of this data was from Zambia, which is notably the country that is consistently the most stable across every indicator. So these intersectional patterns are strongest as within country evidence, not yet a fully balanced 25 country picture. That's not a weakness to hide. It's exactly why the report recommends repeating this instrument in future rounds. So we move from a single snapshot to a real trend line on gender and disability exclusion over time. So my provocation is this: are our institutions willing to fund that? Not a one-off report, but sustained disaggregated tracking, or will legacy to remain single data point we cite on and move past? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, your Gracias. And KATT is actually thinking of leading something around advocacy around internet in Africa. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for your insights. And it's so important to be very transparent about the good things, the things that need to improve, and whether weaknesses or strengths in our knowledge output. So thank you very much for sharing that. And please continue to engage in the conversation as we go along. So we are actually going to jump now to unveiling the legacies. Legacy 2. So again, you might be wondering what is legacies. Again, links are coming in the chat to tell you a bit more about KATT, to tell you about the legacies, what we consider legacies. Legacies are essentially the legacy we're leaving in terms of knowledge, local knowledge and expertise, what we're learning, and what we're using to drive policy action from everyone. Not just, we're not here to sit here and say government should do XYZ only. All of us have a part to play. So, but we want to provide a very unique kind of lens to it, where we're using community-based participatory approaches to our research, where it is the people themselves who are affected by these policies. They're the ones carrying out the research. They're the ones carrying out interventions that relate to the research. Now, Legacy 2 is a continental mapping of youth perspectives across 25 African countries, surfacing how peace, poverty, and overlapping vulnerability shape the lived experience of African young people. And Legacy 3, as Deogracia just said, it focuses a lot on Zambia, actually. You heard that the sample size, even more than half of the sample size and respondent size was from Zambia. So there's so much rich data, we had to do it. And it's an in-depth exploration of the contradiction facing highly educated and resilient young people whose ambitions remain constrained by structural, economic, energy, and governance bottlenecks. So there's a general 25 country, and then there is Zambia. And we're going to have an overview of Legacy 2 first by Dennis. Dennis Kalisa. Dennis is from Rwanda. He is an electronics technology graduate with a strong interest in technology, systems thinking, and evidence-based problem solving. He values dialogue that challenges assumptions, and in the chat box, you'll have his LinkedIn profile, and seeks to understand how technology, institutions, people, and decisions interact to shape better systems. He serves as lead policy and standards at AC Mobility in Rwanda. So I am going to stop sharing and give the floor to Dennis to take us on a very, very short overview of Legacy 2.
Good afternoon and hello. Can you hear me clearly?
We can hear you, but we cannot see you. It's a black screen.
Okie dokie.
There
Am
you
I
go.
visible now?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll quickly dash through Legacy 2 and Sophia's mentioned. It's a bit slow. Well, basically, at a glance, it says Africa's youth are educated, climate aware, and resilient. Yet gender disability and national context combine to produce sharply unequal experiences of peace, poverty, and opportunity. A brief summary of the evidence KATT issue of 2005 maps as follows. From 25 countries, we had 309 respondents, and these were the tallies as is. From those countries, it was shown that 46.9 people live below the international poverty line. 69.6 of these respondents say that gender-based violence is highly unlikely locally based. 88.3% of these have very good and of sound mental health. 96.1 of them understand the effects of climate crisis, and 54.6% of them was the average score basically for national peace. 67.7% of them, and fewer than that, had no civic decision-making opportunities. 62.1 of them saw that the opportunities were not equally best along gender lines, and 64% of them live with disabilities. So its summary of this shows that the greatest inequalities are not simply between men and women, or between persons with or without disabilities, but they emerge where identities intersect. Women with disabilities, consistent records of low peace, safety, and mental health scores from any group survey. I think this goes to show the issue that Sophia asked us to raise in one word, and realize that many of these are intersecting problems that are not necessarily based on where the survey was taken, but these are general thoughts from everyone around. A key snapshot of the issue provided us with the following findings. 46.9 of them live below the poverty line. It's a repetition of basically what I said. With this, there were 5 priorities of action that were supposed to be addressed. The first one was to absorb the demographic dividend, and this was to build 4 pathways from education into decent employment, entrepreneurship, and market responsive skills, prioritizing sectors with high youth employment potential. The second area of priority was to strengthen gender-based violence prevention and protection systems within the society. This would be mainly centered around protection, legal enforcement, community prevention, and prioritizing the highest concern contexts. And these were taken from Ethiopia, Nigeria, and Eswatini. To invest in community-based peace building by institutionalizing especially locally led dialogue through meditation, early warning mechanisms, and recognizing communities as patterns in preventing the violence, not just its beneficiaries. The fourth one is to institutionalize youth voice in governance, and this is to move beyond symbolic representation to permanent youth seats in policy formulation and budgeting monitoring. Basically, an equitable access for women and persons with disability. And the final action point was to center disability inclusive design across all policies, to embed disability inclusions into society protection, gender-based violence responses, peace building, and governance reforms alike. Since these are all intersecting identities, no single category will be driven in its deepest exclusion. And finally, a call for action. Africa's youngest people are not disengaged or uninformed. They are underutilized. This brief distills citizen-based evidence from 309 young Africans across 25 countries into a practical agenda for state, non-state, and international partners. I think a take-home from this is basically grounding policy advocacy in lived experiences through KATT, EWEI, and its partners by moving from rhetoric to evidence, information, action towards the Africa that we desire. Safia, do I need to add any more from that?
No, thank you. Thank you, Dennis. And as you spoke, we were showing the legacy too. So thank you very much for highlighting the key points. Please continue to contribute to the conversation online. Rather in the chat, and we're going to jump straight to legacy 3. Hansel Mueta, he's going to tell me the correct pronunciation, even though I've known him for a while. I'm not the best with names. Hansel, I want to really highlight, as we've said, over half of our respondents came from Zambia, and he is the youth country focal and also junior fellow of Kabilun Africa Think Tank in Zambia. Hansel did amazing work and extensive work to be able to get us to this point. So very important to mention this. He's a researcher, youth advocate, and development practitioner with a background in disaster studies, monitoring, evaluation, and education. He is a monitoring, evaluation, learning manager at the Youth Platform 360 and serves as a KATT Junior Fellow and country focal person. So again, without much ado, we're going to hand it over to Hansel. Hansel, where are you? Yeah. Everyone is rooting for their countries.
All right, thank you very much. I think I want at least people to see me, but later I'll have to switch off the camera so that the network does not fail me. I'm glad to be here. And for this work, I think I would want to thank EWEI and KATT very much. Happy and honored to be associated with the brands doing very good works and just giving opportunities to young people to work and contribute in the development of the continent. So for the KATT Legacy 3, the resilience paradox, for this one, actually, Zubi is saying when we check it from the downloads, we are basically looking at how the importance of Zambia's young population, looking at the opportunity as well as the urgency, if it can translate it to youth potential, as well as sustainable development. So the key insights with KATT Legacy 3 is actually that we engage the young Zambians between the ages of 18 to 34. And these young people provided the insights into the experiences, aspirations, and challenges of this generation. I think what was very much interesting was to unearth some desk review, which revealed that more than 60% of the citizens are under the age of 25. And this actually represents a significant demographic advantage to the country. Why is it so? This is because this generation is increasingly educated, it's skilled, as well as ambitious, creating a very strong foundation for future economic development. So further, I think the leaguers also shows the opportunity that is there. And we are saying that Zambia is at a critical point where its youth population can become a powerful driver of innovation, productivity, as well as prosperity. Therefore, if the right investment are made in education, skills development, employment opportunities, entrepreneurship, and just inclusive economic policies, the country can really capture a significant demographic dividend. However, there's a challenge, and that's where the resilience paradox comes in. So the challenge now that is exposed here is that many young Zambians are navigating difficulty economic realities, requiring high levels of resilience to overcome these barriers. However, the same resilience that helps young people adapt and survive can make and just mask deeper structural challenges such as limited opportunities, unemployment, like I said, and skills to market gaps. Henceforth, without deliberate actions, Zambia risks allowing a demographic advantage to become a policy challenge rather than an economic opportunity. And further, maybe before I close, say the key message for the discussion hinges on that the focus should shift from simply celebrating youth resilience to creating the systems and opportunities that allow young people to thrive in Zambia. So the question is not whether Zambia has the talent and potential, but it is whether the country can create the conditions needed to unlock it. Yeah, so in closing, I would say Zambia's young generation represents one of the country's greatest assets. The challenge is the challenge is ensuring that resilience is not just survival mechanism, but a foundation for opportunity, growth, and shared prosperity. Thank you very much, Sophia.
Thank you so much, Hansel. As they will say, from the horse's mouth. So from Zambia comes the Zambia perspective. And we also want to thank Dr. Michel Obre for his role as editor of the Zambia Resilience Paradox, essentially, which is what that publication is called. All right, so we're going to go back.
Yeah, actually,
And we
Dr. Obre is unwell.
Mm.
Is unwell, but he's getting better. No wonder he didn't join us. Sure.
Okay. So our sympathies are on that, and a big thank you to him for supporting us with the editing, serving as editor for the Resilience Paradox. So again, as we've said, we're flipping the script. Usually we take photos at the end of sessions, but we want to do it right in the middle because everyone is nice and well made up at that time and hasn't run away yet. So we are going to please turn on our cameras. Let me remove the spotlight. Turn on our cameras so we can take our first set of photos and have a great memory of this. Not really sure. I think there's some things with the naming that are happening. Yeah. Okay. Camera. Yeah, camera is on. If you can put on your camera, that would be great. Want to see your lovely faces. Yes, yes, yes. And we even have certainly more than one screen to take photos of. So over to production team. Let us know when you have taken enough photos so we can move on. People are on the road, people are everywhere. Not really sure why Bill Dad's name is everywhere. Don't know what you did.
I am happy. I am happy.
It
That's
is
all.
everywhere. Okay. Production team, tell us when you're done. A lot of Bildad and Uche. So really not sure how that is happening, but it's okay. Yeah, I see my EWEI people. There you are. There's Lynette. All right. Are you done, production team? You know these paparazzi, you know how they are. They want to take from every possible angle. Tell us. Nigerians will say my face is finishing. Are we done? Take these photos. Yeah, and going to the different pages, obviously. We have everyone looking really nice. Okay. Are we good? Let me find the production people. Where is Uche? Lara is here. Hello. Are you done? Yes? No? Maybe. I think you're done. Just give me a thumbs up or something. Okay. Okay. The posture's finished. Give me a thumbs up to be sure you've done it. And that's also for EWI people. I believe you have. Yeah. Okay. So let's proceed. Yes. Okay, good. Let's proceed to our next item, which is the speaker gauntlet. So we're going to do something very interesting, and speakers are really going to take this over. Speakers, and not the conventional speakers, are going to be speaking for 3 minutes only. And what they're going to do is to pose one sharp, provocative question based on the report findings, and then provide a high-level opinion to frame that issue. Because what we're going to do after that is we're going to vote on the question that we would like to talk more about as a room. So what I'm going to do is run very quickly through all our speakers so that you know who is who. And then we're going to go straight into the discussion. So first of all, we have Tata from Cameroon. She is one of our Youth Country Focals, amazing young woman. And in the chat, you will find her LinkedIn profile link. We also have it in the brochure. You can please put the brochure into the chat as well. Her question is, if nearly 7 in 10 young people believe GBV is likely in their communities, have we become better at responding to violence or preventing it? That's Tata. Nabon is from Ethiopia. She's also a Youth Country Focal, and she'll be posing this question. If we have decades of evidence on youth poverty, gender inequality, climate vulnerability, and social exclusion, what exactly are institutions still unwilling to change, or why exactly institutions are willing to change? And Nath from Algeria is asking, if we already know what African youth need, are we investing more in understanding youth challenges than in creating pathways for youth success? Lynette is going to speak about Legacy 3 finds that fewer than 5% of Zambian youth have access to safe transport or good roads, scarcest public goods in the entire survey. Yet Africa moves every day on informal systems citizens built themselves. So why do our budgets and donors keep funding around the systems citizens already trust, like informal transport, community savings groups, and cross-border trade, instead of through them? Gaga is going to speak about If AI is becoming the engine of the future economy, who's designing Africa's future AI or Africa's AI? Future African youth and policymakers together, or global systems that may not fully understand Africa's realities? Rokib from Nigeria is asking, are Africa's peace and poverty policies failing because they ignore youth voices or because they were never designed to transfer power in the first place? Mauricia from Zimbabwe is asking, Africa's potential is widely recognized. Its people, resources, innovation, and resilience are undeniable. What must change for that potential to become the lived reality of every African? Mustafa from Nigeria is asking if gender-based violence remains pervasive despite extensive laws, frameworks, anti-GBV agencies, and NGOs. Are our approaches fundamentally flawed, or are we failing to address its root causes? Ndeye from Senegal, my wise sister, if young people are Africa's greatest asset, why are we so rarely included in the decisions that shape peace, security, and the future of the continent? And Kevin Wangela from Kenya is asking, if Africa's greatest resources is young people, why do our economic policies continue to treat youth as beneficiaries of development rather than as producers of wealth, innovation, and structural transformation? What would change if we design policy around youth as economic actors instead of vulnerable groups? Each speaker is going to speak for exactly maximum of 3 minutes, which means it can be less. You have your questions. We go over to you, Tata. You are on mute, Tata. We can't hear you. Hello? Is anyone else hearing Tata? Because I cannot. Okay, so it's not just me.
No, we cannot.
Okay, Tata?
Oh, all right. Thank you very much, Safia. I thought it was from the host's setting because I tried severally to no avail. Nonetheless, let's just move ahead.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tata Afanu, a country youth focal for the Kabilun African Think Tank and a degree holder in nursing. So one of the findings that stood out to me in KATT Legacy 2 is that nearly 7 in 10 youths believed. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can.
All right, thank you. One of the findings that stood out to me in KATT Legacy 2 is that nearly 7 in 10 youths believe gender-based violence is likely in their community. That brought me to the question, if nearly 7 in 10 young people believe gender-based violence is likely to happen in their communities, have we become better at responding, at managing this violence rather than preventing it? To me, this finding tells me something very important. Gender-based violence is no longer considered as something that used to happen in the older days or an instance of isolation. It is being perceived as a reality that continues to shape how young people grow, especially young women, adolescent girls, and young women. This report goes further to show that young women with disabilities consistently experience the lowest level of peace, safety, and security. That reminds us that inequality is not experienced equally among everyone, and neither should our responses be. We have made meaningful progress in strengthening survival support. We have come up with NGOs which raise awareness on gender-based violence and even improve response mechanisms. But those efforts are not enough. That is because young people continue to expect violence as part of their everyday life. Does it mean we have to focus more on prevention? Does it mean we have become better at managing it? Do we have to look at the root causes, or should we continue managing it to no avail? Prevention means transforming harmful social norms before violence occurs. It means investing in comprehensive sexuality education, age appropriate, meaning from a younger age, bringing up these children with comprehensive sexuality education, engaging boys and men as partners. engaging boys and men as partners, because these are the major perpetrators of gender-based violence, and also strengthening our community accountability, ensuring that women and girls, including women with disability, are not only protected, but they are also meaningfully included in shaping policies that affect them. We cannot solve problems without including those who are directly affected. We should all put hand on deck to see that gender-based violence is being eradicated from the root cause rather than managing it to no avail. It still leads us to the question, are we focusing on managing it more than preventing it? Thank you, Safia.
Thank you so much, Tata. Nabon, over to you. And please feel free to start engaging on the questions and speakers in the chat.
Okay, thank you, Safia. Can you hear me clearly? Okay,
Yes, we
thank
can.
you. Thank you. So good afternoon, all guests, fellow speakers, or policymakers and researchers, development partners, and young leaders joining us from all African leaders. Thank you so much for coming. And it's a privilege to participate in the launch of KATT Legacy 2 and KATT Legacy 3. So over the past several years, working with enterprises, government institutions, and development partners in Ethiopia, I have learned so much lessons from my experience. So from this experience, Africa does not suffer from a shortage of ideas. Africa suffers from an implementation gap. So here is the question. If we have decades of evidence on youth poverty, gender inequality, climate vulnerability, and social inclusion, why do our institutions still struggle to turn evidence into action? So I believe the answer is not the lack of knowledge. Africa has no shortage of research, policies, strategies, and also commitments. So the real challenge is the implementation. So too often we measure the success by numbers of policies, or we produce instead of numbers of lives that we transfer from poverty to decent life. So from my experience supporting enterprises development in Ethiopia, I have seen that meaningful change happens when institutions move beyond consultation and invest in implementation. So when young people are trusted to lead, when women are given equal opportunities to decision making and participate in innovation and decision making, and when the private sector is treated as a genuine development partner, and also when climate resilience becomes part of part of every economic social investment, and communities become stronger, enterprises become more competitive, and opportunities expand. So here is the thing. The evidence we presented in this report just should not remain publications and kept in shelves or PDFs or stored on our websites. So they should shape our budgets, systems, employment strategies, educational systems, gender equality initiatives, climate resilient, and also to improve daily lives of our young African citizens. So I leave all of us to one challenge. This is, let us stop asking whether Africa young people and women are ready for leadership. Instead, let us ask whether our institutes are ready to trust them, leadership, resource, and decision-making power. So because the future of Africa is not determined by the quality of reports we are producing now or has been produced, but it will be determined by the courage of our actions. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Nabon. Big call to young people and everyone. I'm not sure because we're having issues with the naming. Thank you. I'm not sure. I did have a short chat with this person who is sharing, so I'll be sure. Anas, is that you? Because you are next. So we're going to listen to Anas next. All
Okay,
right.
thank you.
Over to you.
Thank you, Safia. I hope you're well, and I want to say hi for everyone here, from researchers, from my colleagues, and everyone here. I hope you're great today. My name is Bilhassan Anis, and I'm from Algeria. As a matter of fact, I work as a studies engineer in hydraulic, and I'm a youth focal here in KATT. Okay, I really glad to be here in this session, because I think by that we can work hand by hand for a new, stronger Africa. I think I'm gonna go with my question, which is a general question about both of Legacy 2 and Legacy 3. My question is, if we already know about what young people need, are we investing more in understanding youth challenges than working on pathways for youth success? As a matter of fact, I've asked this question because I think that KATT Legacies provide something many discussion lack, which is evidence. Okay, they clearly show us that young Africans are not short of ambition or awareness or resilience. Many of the barriers they face, from economic problems or limited opportunities, structural constraints, and other problems that prevent potential from becoming progress in Africa. Okay, so the question is no longer, I think, it's no longer whether we understand the challenges. So the question is whether we are acting on what we already know. At what point do we still shift our greatest investment from producing more evidence to producing miserable outcomes for youth people? I think this all. Thank you for your lesson.
Thank you so much, Anas. We appreciate it. And you can see KATT is leading by example. The young people are going first. We want to hear from them and what they're thinking. So let's just ask. I understand some people, probably you didn't get the link, or you didn't look in your spam folders for the link, because it comes automatically. And we have many Bildads and many Uches. So please rename yourself. You just go to the top right, 3 dots, and rename. Just put your name there, so we know that we don't have clones on the call. All right, over to you, Lynette. We cannot hear you, Lynette. No. No, Lynette is not on mute, but we cannot hear her. I believe I'm not the only one, right?
I also can't hear her.
Okay.
We can see you, Lynette, but we can't hear you.
Yeah. Again, forget
Can you hear me
internet.
now?
Yes.
Much better, right? Fantastic. My name is Lynette Kitonga from Kenya, and I'm very happy to be part of a discussion that then tries to figure out how we want the Africa we deserve. And for me, 2 numbers stopped me at or in Legacy 3. I'm not talking about the GBV numbers. I'm sure my colleagues will speak powerfully to those. These were in section 4.14 and 4.34, where less than 5% of young Zambians have access to safe transport or good roads. This is the rarest public goods in the entire survey. And yet Zambia does move. Sure, Kenya is moving, Nigeria is moving, and so on and so forth. This continent moves every single day on informal systems citizens built themselves, because no one else has built them anything else. So here's my question. Why do our budgets and our donors keep funding around the systems citizens already trust instead of through them? And my view is every African country runs on invisible infrastructure or systems, informal transport networks, community saving groups, cross-border traders, name them. And they are not gaps waiting for formal systems to replace them. They are these systems that we run on here. They solved coordination problems governments couldn't, and they carry something money cannot buy, which is trust. Yet when the budget is written, they are treated as the problem, informal, unregulated, invisible, and the money goes to parallel structures citizens never asked for, and sometimes rarely ever use. You don't change behavior here in Africa by telling people they're doing it wrong. You take what already works and remove the friction. You make it safer, you make it fairer, and you make it count. That means funding with communities from design through monitoring, and bringing the people who run these systems to the policy table as experts, not as a problem to be fixed. Legacy 2, I think, says it perfectly. Communities are partners, not beneficiaries. So my challenge to this room, the policymakers, donors, and fellow advocates, before we design the next intervention for Africa, let's ask what citizens have already built, and then let's be brave enough to put the budget behind it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Lynette. And you will see G. Rani in the chat, hopefully, and you learn more about what Lynette has done to actually address these problems in Kenya as well. So, Gaga, over to you from the African Leadership University. He's the president of the Student Representative Council. Gaga.
Oh, I hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Safia. My name is Gaga Jean-Paul. I am a student at the African Leadership University. I do Bachelor's of Entrepreneurial Leadership. Yeah. Before joining this conversation, there's a very important question I asked myself, and I wanted to ask everyone in this room. And that question is none other than about AI and technological advancement that we are currently experiencing in the world. So if Africa, if AI is becoming an engine of the future economy, who is designing Africa's AI, future African youth, and policymakers together, or it's a global system that may not fully understand the Africa's realities. The reason why I am bringing this on is because Africa is always left behind in everything. Like currently, when you take a look at some of the agendas we have, they are far, far behind compared where others are. And now there's this thing called AI coming, and it's really threatening a lot of people and a lot of jobs here on the continent. And when you look at what should be done to be able to catch up, there's still a very huge gap. And I always ask myself, what should we do and how can we address this problem?
Okay. That's it, huh? Thank you for keeping it succinct. We appreciate that. Excellent. So Gaga has spoken. Now Rokib Akinyemi from Nigeria is going to be speaking. 3 minutes.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, distinguished colleagues and the esteemed organizers. My name is Rocky Akemi from Nigeria. So the particular question that I'll be posing with, which I'll definitely start with, apart from other things I'll put down, is are Africans' peace and poverty policies failing because they ignore youth voices or because they were never designed to transfer power in the first place? At first glance, many of us would say that young people are simply not being heard. Government organized youth summits, consultative meetings, stakeholders, engagements, and town halls. And on paper, youth participation appears to exist. But I believe the problem runs much deeper. The real issue is not merely that youth voices are ignored. It is that many of our governance structures were never designed to allow young people to influence decisions, shape priorities, or even hold institutions accountable. There is a significant difference between having a voice and having power. A voice that allows you to speak, the power that allows you to decide. Across many African countries, I believe young people are invited to discussions after policies have already been drafted. So this will not help us to grow as young people. The youth are consulted after budgets have been prepared. They are represented symbolically, but rarely entrusted with meaningful authority. And that is truly not participation, but an observation. And in that regard, if Africa truly wants lasting peace and sustainable prosperity, we must move beyond listening to young people, and we need to begin sharing decision making with young people. Peaceful engagement should not simply mention the youth. They should actually be co-designed with the youth. And poverty reduction strategies should not merely target the youth. They should empower young people to shape economic priorities, drive innovation, and influence resource allocation. And if we continue to design policies for young people without designing them with young people, we should not be surprised these policies fail to produce lasting change. Therefore, I submit the challenge before us today, distinguished participants, and even our esteemed organizers, that it is not simply youth inclusion, it is the transfer of responsibility, influence, and decision-making of power to the generation that will inherit the consequences of today's policy. Until we make that shift, our peace, even the poverty strategy that we may have designed for, may achieve only temporary successes, but they will struggle to deliver transformational and sustainable outcomes. I would end this by saying that Africa does not suffer from a shortage of young voices. It suffers from a shortage of institutions willing to trust those voices with real power. Thank you for listening to me. I appreciate being on this platform. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rakib. That's incredibly insightful. Let's go over to Marcia. You're on mute.
Good evening, everyone. Yes, my biggest question is always my question.
Is anyone else having issues with Marcia's sound?
I can't clearly hear her. She sounds
Yeah,
far
a bit
from
louder.
the
Yeah.
microphone. Yeah.
Marcia is very soft-spoken naturally, so
Can you
Let's,
hear me now?
yes.
Now it's
All
clear.
right. Okay, so I'm saying the biggest issues that Africa's potential is widely recognized. No question about that. Its people, its resources, innovation, resilience, it is undeniable. So what must change for that potential to become the lived reality of every African? We often hear that Africa is the continent of the future. We celebrate our youthful population, abundant natural resources, the rich cultures. We also celebrate our growing innovation and our remarkable resilience. Yet, for millions of Africans, that potential is yet to become their daily reality. So I was listening to the Gracia, Dennis, and Ansel, and also to the KATT contribution 2025 mapping, which was capturing the perspectives of young people across the 25 African countries. Nearly half of the respondents live below the international poverty line, and 2/3 reported having very few or no opportunities to participate in decision making. And many identified unemployment, the insecurity, and the insecurity was actually highlighted during the multi-meter exercise that we had. Gender inequality as the pressing concerns. So at some point, at the same time, we demonstrate resilience, we demonstrate awareness, we demonstrate a strong desire to help build a better Africa. So perhaps the question is not whether Africa has potential. The question is, because the evidence has already suggested that. So for me, the more important question is, what is preventing that potential from becoming? What is it? For me, Africa's challenge is not a lack of potential. It is the gap between the potential and the systems. The gap between the potential and the systems. Because I think the celebration of African youth who are talented, this has gone on for decades. So which means youth are talented, that talent is not realized, that potential is not realized, and then we have another generation of talented youth, another generation of talented youth, abundant resources, they're still there, innovative ideas from the youth, and we have resilient communities. Yet too often, our institutions and equal opportunities, there's exclusion, there's fragmented implementation that prevents that potential from translating into everyday reality. So I think the question that we must be asking ourselves is, what must change? What are we supposed to change? Is it leadership? Is it our institutions? Is it how we invest in young people? Is it how we include the women, the person, the people with the impairments? Is it our curriculum in schools? Is it the young people themselves? Because they are there and nothing is translating into reality. Is it how the government, the civil society, the private sector, and the communities work together? Or is it all of us together? I don't think there is one single answer to this, but I believe the answer begins with honest dialogue, evidence-informed decisions. This work by KATT is very good because it brings about the evidence. And I think courage to move beyond describing the problems. We know the problems. We need to move from describing the problems to transforming our systems. And I think as a group, I'm inviting you to think deep, from not simply identifying the problem, what is wrong, we know what is wrong, but to explore what must change so that every African can experience the Africa we know is possible, the Africa that we believe we deserve. I want to say potential itself changes nothing. We lose out. We lose potential every day. It changes nothing. It needs opportunity. And that opportunity needs institutions. And those institutions, they need leadership. And the leadership needs to be accountable to the people. I think I'm inviting you to explore, I mean, really work on this question and discuss. And we can actually do something about it. We can implement something.
Thank you, Marcia. And you're wondering why I gave her a little bit more time. Marcia served as editor for KATT Legacy too. So thank you so much, Marcia, for your contributions. Continue the discussion. Mustafa, you are next. Can we find Mustafa? Where's Mustafa? It's like, where's Waldo? In this maze. Mustafa, are you there? If you're not able,
Yes,
we'll...
yes,
Okay.
I'm there.
Okay, go ahead.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm so sorry. Okay, sorry. I'm so happy to be here once again. And thank you so much for the opportunity. Quickly, to the question I'm proposing this afternoon. If gender-based violence remains pervasive despite extensive laws, security frameworks, and anti-GBV agencies, NGOs, are our approaches fundamentally flawed, or are we failing to address its root causes? Distinguished colleagues, we must confront an uncomfortable truth across our continent. We have ratified landmark treaties, passed comprehensive national laws, and funded thousands of advocacy organizations. Yet, nearly 70% of educated youth report that gender-based violence remains highly likely in their immediate communities. Why does this gap exist? Because our current interventions merely treat the downstream symptoms of violence while failing to address its four fundamental root causes. First is poverty. With nearly half of our youth surviving below the international poverty line, economic dependence strips survivors of financial autonomy, safe housing, and legal representation. Poverty turns physical safety into an unattainable luxury and traps survivors in abusive homes out of basic survival necessity. Second is a flawed mindset and home training. When early home socialization normalizes dominance, and nearly half of society still excuses domestic abuse as a private family matter, we fail to cultivate non-violent mindsets before abusive behaviors take root. Third is drug and abuse and substance abuse. Intoxicants act as a direct behavioral catalyst, impairing judgment, destroying self-control, and rapidly escalating domestic conflict into severe physical assault. And fourth is a broken justice system. Hostile police responses, evidence mismanagement, and years-long judicial backlog signal to perpetrators that violence carries virtually no consequence, embedding a culture of systemic impunity. We are not failing because GBV is an impossible problem to solve. We are failing because we are fighting structural destruction with surface level campaigns. Real change demands that all of us, power holders, anti-GBV agencies, and we as activists stop hiding behind short-term projects and annual PR events. We must collectively take up the hard work of dismantling poverty, reshaping home orientation, curbing substance abuse, and forcing real judicial accountability. Until we confront these root causes together, we will continue to fail our communities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mustafa. The young people are speaking, and yeah, really good things to reflect on. And there, Kebe from Senegal is next. Fende, you're on mute. No, keep talking. We'll see, can hear you. We cannot hear you right now. Not yet. Can anyone hear her? So it's not just me?
No.
No, we can't hear.
Okay. And we're going to ask for your patience with us. We might run a little bit over time, but we'll make sure it's quick. Still no. We cannot hear you. Not sure what is going on there.
Back to the African problem.
Yes. Oh my. So there, let's come back to you. Let's go to Kevin and then we'll come back to you. Okay? Kevin, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Yeah. My name is Kevin from Kenya, and I want to thank you for this opportunity to participate in this great conversation that we're having. So the question that I was lingering in my mind was that if Africa's greatest resource is its young people, why do our economic policies continue to treat youth as a beneficiary of development rather than as producers of wealth, innovation, and structural transformation? And what would change if we design policies around youth as economic actors and not just merely as vulnerable group? That was based on my observation as a trade economist in the country Kenya. And because I analyze data across, Africa also due to the ACFTA. But what we notice is that youth interventions are always confined to social protection schemes, small-scale grants, or isolated welfare funds. While these interventions are well-intentioned, this mindset frames young people as passive recipients waiting for assistance rather than putting them out there as drivers of production. So if we reframe youth as economic actors, our baseline approach changes. We stop asking, how do we assist the youth, and start asking a real question like, how do we lower barriers to entry so that young producers can scale across regional as well as the global markets? And we've seen this potential clearly within the industrial innovation sector as well as regional trade, especially under the African Continental Free Trade Area. We've seen young innovators who just don't need that basic skill training, but they need capital, to capital access, mostly intellectual property protection, as well as streamlined cross-border logistics and harmonized trade standards. So this means that when we integrate youth-led enterprises directly into high-value regional value chains, whether through digital infrastructure, agri-tech processing, clean energy technology, or advanced manufacturing, we move from a consumption-based growth to true economic sovereignty. So I think there is a need for African states to shift our focus. When we're looking at youth from that mindset of welfare-oriented design to sort of a market-enabling design, so that we can capture that demographic dividend amongst our youth who are the majority within Africa. And I think this will help us to advance our countries more, create sustainability in the production system, and also drive the structural transformation as it is envisaged in our Agenda 2063 of the AU. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kevin. And again, helping us to think more deeply about that gap, right, between policy and the actual and our aspirations as well. Dea, want to try again? Let's see. No. Can anyone else hear her? Bill, can you hear?
Unfortunately not, and I like the background.
No, she's not audible.
Yeah. Really sorry about that. And while she's trying to fix that, can I ask that please if you rename yourself if you are not Bildad and you're not Uche? We need to take another photo because it seems like there are a lot of Bildads in our meeting and a lot of Uches. And we know it's because you used their link to join, and thank you for taking the trouble. So meanwhile, Ndaya, please keep trying. You can put your mic on so that we can know if you are you've tried renaming. Okay, keep trying. You because the thing is, we don't know who you are, so we don't know who to name what. We could have renamed you, but we're not sure who it is. That's the problem. So meanwhile, can I please crave your indulgence? And Daya, please keep trying. If not, probably you have to we just put your question in the chat, and your thoughts. I'm not really sure why we cannot hear you, but keep trying so that we see. In the meantime, can I please ask again, rename yourself and put on your cameras once more so we can have the actual names of those who are attending. Our sincere apologies. I'm also going to take some photos myself to make sure that we capture. I know the perfume and the makeup hasn't gone yet, so please, let's see your nice faces again. I'm seeing my Ijo people. Yes, go ahead. Just put it in the chat because we cannot hear you, and I'm really not sure why this is the case, but let's just keep doing it. Okay, please just be putting on your cameras so that look at all the people here. Oh my. Okay, let's keep production team. I'm helping you do your work. Okay. Let's see. We have a lot of people on. One Bildad is crying. We're not sure which Bildad that one is. So let's see. I hope we have enough for now. And unfortunately, we can't hear Ndaya, so we're going to put the question in the chat. Let's just put her question in the chat and we'll go straight to vote for which discussion you would want us to carry forward after this. Because we're quite pressed for time. So let me just share the screen. Yeah, unfortunately, again, we could not speak, we could not have Ndaya speak, but her question is, if young people are Africa's greatest asset, why are they still so rarely included in the decisions that shape peace, security, and the future of the continent? So that's a question, and there you can add a bit more in the chat. So we're now going straight to the vote. The discussion will continue later on. We'll be very, very excited to invite you to that discussion. So you can it up now on menti.com, the code. You can scan this to tell us the discussion we would like to carry forward from here. You can scan that and we will see just right now and rank the questions. So let me stop sharing this and start presenting that one so that we know which discussion we would like to continue in another session. Let me be clear, in another session. We thought we were able to do it but there's so many interesting things to discuss here and I think time is never enough to discuss these issues. So let's see how you rank them, and we will certainly carry that forward into another discussion online. Let me just find it now okay, good. So if you could rank them, and you see, speakers, you know your topic, so you can encourage people to vote for your topic so that we have you back. This is our way of getting you back. So just one person has responded so far, would like you to rank. And these are the questions that were posed to us. Question one was, let me just check my notes. Okay, if nearly 7 in 10 young people believe GBV is likely in their communities, have we become better at responding to violence or preventing? Second one was from Nabon. Why do budgets, donors keep funding around systems? Oh, sorry, that's Lynette. Anas had, if we already know what African youth need, are we investing more in understanding youth challenges than in creating pathways for success? Lynette speaks about our budgets and donors keep funding around the system citizens already trust, like informal transport, community saving groups, and cross-border trade instead of through them. Interesting. So you can see the trend. What is interesting our audience and our participants here, all of us, in what we want to discuss. Rohib said, are Africa's peace and poverty policies failing because they ignore youth voices or because they were never designed to transfer power in the first place? Marcia challenged us about generally the potential. That potential really means nothing if there's no opportunity. Mustafa talked about GBV remaining pervasive despite extensive laws, security frameworks, and anti-GBV agencies and NGOs. Are they flawed or failing to address root causes? We've only had 9 responses. I think we can do a lot better. Indea's question is, if young people are Africa's greatest assets, why are they still so rarely included in the decisions that shape peace, security, and the future of the continent? And Dr. Kevin Wanjala says, if Africa's greatest resources is young people, why do our economic policies continue to treat youth as beneficiaries of development? Even that word, as we know, beneficiaries, rather than as producers of wealth, innovation, and structural transformation. What would change if we design policies around youth as economic actors instead of vulnerable groups? So we have almost 50% of those on the Menti have responded. I'm just going to give one more minute, and I think we're going to go a maximum of 15 minutes over time, which means we will end before, for us, 5:45. So we're now at 5:36. So we're very close to the end, and we appreciate you for staying. All right, we're having more people on the Menti, it seems. Lynette, you're winning. Is it because there are many Kenyans on the call? Because there are many people called Bildad on the call. So I'm thinking, and they're using Bildad's link. All right, we're almost there. Keep going. Rank, please. What discussion would you like us to carry forward? You're doing very well. Doing very well. Just 9 responses. In fact, 8 aside from me. Very good. Yes, looking good, almost there. 7 responses left. 7 responses needed. Another Bildad joined. And keep the chat storm, keep it coming. All right. I like, as the numbers increase, then all right. Oh, this is so interesting. Everyone wants to talk about this. This is interesting. Okay, we'll give it one more minute and then we will go into the closing. One more minute. Let's see what you think. And we really hope we're going to bug you and invite you to the next conversation. Lynette, you see, you've already been roped in now. The people have spoken. All right, we're almost there. Almost there. 30 more seconds. 30 seconds. You see how it's so funny when the number is 28. Oh, 27 of 20 of 28. Then the number goes to 29, then 30. So almost there. Almost there. Last 10 seconds, last call. You see, the numbers keep going up. All right. Let me do the countdown. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Thank you for your thoughts. And I believe it's certainly still open for you to continue to add your thoughts. I like how plans change right on site. So I ideally we would have had some time to talk more, but this has also now roped Bill in to our next session. So essentially we were going to have a digital fishbowl, and based on the winning question, share your thoughts and practical solutions. We now have the question. So our next conversation, our next webinar, our next session, which we'll invite you to, we will discuss more about it. I will really want to appreciate my co-host, Bildad. He is Wanyama Wafula. He is an East African business leader, strategist, and entrepreneur. He's the founder of Mindscape Africa that leads integrated marketing, branding, and growth initiatives for businesses across the region. In addition to his corporate leadership, he connects a wider audience as a radio host. So the next one, he's going to talk more. I'm not going to say anything. Using the platform to engage in impactful conversations on personal development and growth. So thank you. He definitely did the chat storm. So thank you very much. So we're going to eventually look at what Toll has done so far. Could you also put in the chat the digital map? We have a map that kind of summarizes all the issues we have discussed. I think we're going to have to look at the chat and see who was most engaged, because we had a prize for the top 3 solution-oriented debate contributors. So we're going to look at the chat and later on, and Bill can even advise us on that, who are those who were most engaged, so that you can get your prizes. All right, so we have prizes of professional course. We also have a prize of feature on our platforms, and you get all the information. Everyone that has attended, you'll get all the information. The final version of the visual map, which will show us at the end, will be available on the website, at the KATT Legacy website, the Kabilun Africa Think Tank. Please put in the chat, production team. Call to action is to join us, essentially. Membership to KATT is free. So also you can put in the chat the link to how to become a member of Kabilun Africa Think Tank. Our announcements. I love that someone spoke about, what happens next, let it not stay in PDFs. I think that was Nabon, not just in PDFs or on shelves. What happens afterwards? Well, one of the things we're doing at KATT is that we have 3 policy brief development program scholars. So they went through professional course on policy brief development, and they have now commenced their 8-month policy brief writing journey. And they're all on this call. Felicity was very quiet, but she was here. So we have Felicity from Nigeria, Hansel from Zambia, and Anas from Algeria. Very interesting topics. We'll keep you updated. It will be updated on the website. What now? After this, we will be implementing a micro program or intervention that's evidence-based in Zambia, based on KATT Legacy 3 findings. So we're not just going to stop at talking, we will do something. And you will hear more about that as we go along. And our third announcement, and please keep putting everything in the chat, and obviously you're going to get this in the post-event survey. Women in International Security, who's our strategic partner of KATT, is obviously a KATT affiliate, and we are conducting a local security audit in Kaduna and Kano states, a little research project that we're commencing. And if you want to know how to get involved, it's also in the chat, and we'll send that as well. So we're looking for volunteer lead researchers and auditors in Kaduna and Kano states, Northwest Nigeria. So we want to say thank you. We tried to find thank you in different languages, and this is what we've got so far. I know there are many more. Thank you so much for your time and being part of it. We want to turn evidence into action at KATT and do it with the people who it directly affects. Toll, please get ready to show us something, because that is how we are going to round up today. And I want to thank the production team. You cannot imagine the amount of work that has gone into preparing this. So, I mean, production team, can you wave or something so people can appreciate you? They're behind the scenes. They're working hard. Ah, yes, lots of nice links. Thank you so much for all your excellent work. We appreciate you. Let me see if I can go through the names. We have Rose, we have Claude behind the scenes, Giselle behind the scenes, we have Angela behind the scenes, we have Uche behind the scenes. I hope I haven't left. And we have Matt behind the scenes, and everyone. We just truly appreciate you. Who? Yvonne too. Yes, they're close by, so we can hear Yvonne also behind the scenes. Thank you, Bill. I will actually, after Tool shows us where we are, I'm going to let you close because you're going to be in the next one. So you
I
and
share the
Lynette.
pictures in the message already.
So let's take a look. Let me see. Message where in the chat? Oh yes. Okay. Let me share my screen. Let's see if everyone can see that.
Actually, I have two pictures, but the second one is not finished yet.
Okay. Okay, no, they can't see it on my screen. But if you click on it, anyone, you can see it. Do you see it? What do you think? Looks great. I think this time my picture will be different, huh? Because it looks like the other one. Can you see it in the chat? Just go a bit up. We have two pictures. This is the first one. Okay. I know how to show you. 1 second. I need to download it first. And then you can see what it is. Let me download, which I have done, and I can share on my screen. Okay. All right. So 1 second. Let me just show you what Tool has produced so far. And we're going to get the final version, obviously, later on. But for now, this is what we have produced. I like the we, as if I did anything. All right, here it is. Okay. So this is what we have so far. My picture is going to change, so it looks different this time. I hope I look different. And we'll be sharing everything from this, the materials, the final product of this. And we're looking forward to the next conversation. Thank you so much for your time, all our partners. And over to you, Bill, to close. Thank you, everyone.
Hello, can you hear me clearly? I'm checking the African problem if it's not with me. Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Okay. So first of all, thank you, everyone. It's good to see so many familiar faces and also the thought-provoking conversations. And I want to let everyone remember that history will not ask whether Africa had the most of the young people or enough young people. It will ask whether we trusted them enough. And the part that I honestly wanted to highlight from all the speakers as well is we all agree systems are there. We should remember that Africa's greatest resource has never been beneath its soil. Congo, whatever region that you want to say, it's with its people. And everyone knows it's the people. Why are we not implementing in its people? Now, some people asked, who is the youth? Because everyone is saying here, youth, 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 youth. Is it now, it's Felicia or someone in the chat who asked, what is your definition of the youth? And again, from where I come from, I'll tell you, it's up to 80 years and above, you'll still be called a youth. And in the chat, it became also a big conversation. So I'm happy. We are discussing on who is youth, what is the clarity, who is going to be trusted, not in words, but also in action. So looking forward to the next session. Thank you, Safia, and thank you, everyone. See you next time.
Thank you, everyone. We have photos. It's fine. Thank you. And you heard his radio voice. Yeah. Kenya leader is 83. Yeah. Thank you all. Have a wonderful time. We will send you a survey as well to give us your feedback on the event. Stay safe. Use your potential.